Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I know there's quite a few new faces that have chosen to stay, and I just want to say welcome. I'm glad that you have decided to stay, and I'm glad that you guys like my content. I'm going to do my best to continue sharing more and more videos as the weeks go on. But I do want to say that if you guys want to get to know more about me and my story, then definitely get a copy of my book. It's called The Path of an Eagle: How to Overcome and Lead After Being Knocked Down. I've left the links in the show description below for you all. Now, on to today's video. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, the woke media loves to gaslight and lie to all your faces, and they will also say that they are the truth seekers, or they're the ones that are sharing the truth. Believe it or not, yes, the liars will try and lie and gaslight you all to believe that they're the ones that hold the truth. It's absurd. We're living in some very interesting and crazy times indeed. So The Guardian, which is one of the most left-leaning news outlets out there, put up a article the other day, which I just was like, why in the world did they allow this? And then I remembered, or I didn't forget, I just kept thinking to myself, no way could they be this stupid. No way could they be this dumb. And then I had to correct myself and make myself realize that, hey, you can expect some really crazy woke nonsense coming out of The Guardian for sure. So it's in regards to Iman Khalif, the biological male boxer that, well, sadly took the gold medal away from the likes of deserving real women. But nevertheless, The Guardian wants you to believe that girls ignore the sexist rhetoric, revel in everything that upsets the haters. So women actually knowing the fact that Iman is a biological dude with XY chromosomes. Yes, Iman has DSD, but that does not change the fact that Iman is a biological male and looks like Iman went through male puberty, so has a distinct advantage. But where are the feminists? They're quite silent. I wonder why that is. Could it be that they're actually reveling in the fact that they think a woman won the Olympics? They're cheering on the fact that a biological dude showed the entire world what biological dudes can do. And also the message behind that is it's okay to punch women in the face. Real women. Not at the hand of an actual woman, but at the hand of a biological dude. That's sending a very stark message, isn't it? Especially with the whole domestic violence issues that are going on at the moment. Firstly, they don't even know what the hell a woman is, and yet they're claiming we need to protect women. So how are you going to protect something you don't know nothing about? Hey, if you don't know biology and you say that we don't have a scientific test to tell what a woman or a man is, how are you going to actually protect the thing you're claiming to protect? Doesn't make sense, does it? But they want you to believe that we need to protect women, even though they can't define what it is. So Sal Grover goes, girls, ignore that women are being punched in the face by men. That's what you're saying. Yes, it's exactly what they're saying. Sal Grover said it perfectly. And she also says it's sexist to say males can be female these days. Somehow. I've got no idea how that is even possible, but nevertheless, The Guardian wants you to believe that it is. It's sexist to allow males into female sport. It's sexist to say otherwise too. And it's deeply misogynistic to applaud it as it happens. This is the kind of day and age that we live in, people. Not a single female boxer adheres to a preferred model of femininity. 2 were male, and that's the problem. It's that simple. But hey, if you think otherwise, you're a misogynist. I don't know how that actually works, because a biological dude and you're being a misogynist to a biological dude, like I thought you could only be a misogynist to a female. But anyway, there seems to be some confusion about what TERFs believe. So without further ado, women are adult human females. Women can look however they do or want. They're still adult human females. No one can change or changes sex. No woman has to be feminine. Gender identity is bullcrap. to use a different word, but I can't use it on YouTube. So let's get into this rubbish Guardian piece and let's debunk it. But anyway, it's from Van Badham. Well, you've got a great last name, haven't you? Badham. I can't. Oh, dear. Van Badham. Oh, this is going to be fun, people. This is going to be real fun. Ignoring the actual serious nature of this content. Girls ignore the sexist rhetoric, revel in everything that upsets the haters. Yeah, sure. The saga of the Algerian boxer Iman Khalif at the Olympics. Oh, that's a great opening line. The explosive Times feature about the Tradwife, Hannah Nilliman. Whatever has happened to the Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance to make him once insist that a coven of vengeful witches, childless cat ladies, are hexing ruin on people's lives? Well, the left would love you to believe that J.D. Vance is weird. Have you seen any of the stuff coming out of the left lately? Yeah. I could show you video after video and photo after photo of actual legitimately weird stuff. Jeffrey Marsh being just one of them who was invited to the DNC. Yes. And they want to say that JD Vance is weird. And Jeffrey Marsh is going to be documenting everything and sharing it to Jeffrey's highly engaged audience. Let's just say that. They're not news stories. They're concurrent threads in the dystopian nightmare being woven for Western women by the kind of far right political forces you wouldn't want near you to darn your damn socks. I mean, I've got to admit one thing. The language surrounding this, the written language, is rather intriguing. I'll say that. Khalif's crime in the eyes and relentless social media feeds of the let us tell you how women should look, act, reproduce, breathe, and exist on this earth brigade lies in the choosing not to portray Iman's self as an aspirational Sports Illustrated swimsuit model when Iman's job as a professional athlete is literally to punch other people in the face. You mean you're a biological dude and you're punching other people in the face. Let's correct that. There's an online community of transvestigators. Oh, that's a very interesting community. If you ask me, who spend their days with Adobe Photoshop filters and an alarming, fragile sense of personal identity, determining every prominent woman who takes her work seriously and must secretly be a man, lest the confections of gender that they cling to collapse in the face of concrete evidence to the contrary. Like the fact that we have 2 failed gender tests. Like, is that what you're referring to? Evidence to the contrary, people. We're not going to submit A or B or C that we actually have. No, we're not going to do that. That's not evidence to any kind of contrary at all. Gee, Sherlock. You're pathetic. Not Sherlock Holmes. That'd be rude to, throw shade on poor Sherlock. But I love Sherlock. But this person has got no idea. Absolutely none. They've been going on about Michelle Obama in this way for years. The people that say Michelle Obama is a dude, I don't give a crap. Honestly, I really don't. Don't be fooled by this rhetoric into thinking that Khalif terrifies because of Iman's height or strength. Yes, let's continue this language and gaslight people into believing that Iman you shouldn't worry about the height, the stature, the strength. None of that stuff matters. It's how Iman carries Iman's self when Iman is in the ring punching the likes of real women in the face. But we shouldn't worry about that. Nah, shouldn't worry about the height or the strength either. It's taking the sport of boxing seriously enough to pop. Here we go. a man's opponent's nose rather than flailing about like a helpless doily in a boxer costume. That's the issue. But again, I'll say the language in this article, far out. I don't think this person actually talks like this in real life. And if they do, stay the hell away from them. There is, you see, a preferred model of femininity for those in the yelping far right. Well, this person amazes me. You're saying that there is this preferred model of femininity. Yes, preferably the one that doesn't involve you being a dude, identifying as a woman. That's the more preferred version. If you're on the right. But if you're just on the side of sanity and common sense, and it's of the pretty, homebound, jobless kind that spawns children in the quantities of a brood animal. Again, I'll say the language in this article, far out. Oh, this person's got no idea. Really, no idea whatsoever. So you say that it's bad for us to criticize single women, or say go and be a housewife, go do chores and go do all that sort of stuff. You're saying it's bad for us to say all that stuff, but it's not bad for you to criticize the ones that actually have a home and raise children. Wow. Dear oh dear. This demand reflects a masculinity. You're right about the masculinity aspect. You see the person in the ring beating up women, mate? So delicate, it relies on the economic and physical independence or dependence of a partnered woman to provide the comparative illusion of strength. It's packaged online as a fantasy product for weak men by Tradwife accounts. Well, this person clearly hates reason, rationale, logic, science, and everything good in society. There are bleak laughs to be had at the inherent structural hypocrisy of women insisting on the value of a life of domestic service. That's what you call it, domestic service. Okay. When they're running for profit media enterprises from their kitchens, the chuckles, sadly, are thin when one reads the Times piece about Nellyman, the Tradwife queen of Bellernia Farm. Nellyman insists her loving husband didn't bully her out of Juilliard dance school, and she disputes her. He answers her questions for her, but his own admission that the domestic labor around their 8 children, their traditional marriage leaves her so sick with exhaustion that she can't get out of bed for a week. Sure, reads a slightly creepy from the son of a billionaire. Maybe this life was her choice. Yeah, the feminists love to rave about my body, my choice. But when it comes to the right, you can't say that, still my body, my choice. I want to do whatever the hell I want to do with it. And if that includes being a housewife, so be it. Doesn't matter how exhausted I am. You're raising 8 kids, for goodness sake. Like, use your brain, journalist, if I can even call you that. But nevertheless, it's all the husband's fault. It's all of the male's fault for somehow forcing her to do all this. So again, I'll say it's only your body, your choice when you're a feminist, but not your body, your choice when you are, traditional, so to speak. Because how can that possibly happen? We hate traditional values. We hate traditional morals or anything like that in the way they live. So let's try and say that it's the evil man that made this woman do this. Mate, get a life. Honestly, you got problems if you think that. Nevertheless, let's continue this ridiculous story or poor excuse of peace. Maybe this life was her choice, but one wonders if an older Nellyman may consider it a SHIT one. Note, the value of women in such a patriarchal bargain decreases as the years pass, and these external standards of feminine beauty become harder to physically satisfy. I don't know where you get this note from, man. Like, what's going on in your brain? I think you've broken several things, several important things to look at the other side of things, but nevertheless, you may hate the other side. Maybe you got daddy issues. Who knows? That specter of the valueless aged woman underscores misogyny. Oh, here we go. The childless cat ladies. You love going back to JD Vance here. The aspiring US vice president spent aspiring US vice president week deliberately stalking his nemesis, the Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris. Wow, boy, this is insufferable stuff, man. But I'm determined to get through it for you all. From rally location to rally location, the optics of him alongside a besuited gang of smarmy white men on an airport tarmac resembled way too much the kind of swaggering table looks that would inspire me to flee an office Christmas long before any drinks were served. Again, I'm going to say it. Your language is ridiculous. If you speak like this in real life, God help you. Anyway, these are hardly insulated examples. So why is the new sexism happening? Gee, interesting question. Why is it happening? I'm sure you're going to tell us. Yes, the internet. Yes, all the internet's fault because men are on the internet. Yes, it's infrastructure of coordinated amplification. But I've come to believe the recent angry discourse of women hating has been triggered by a generational phenomenon. Could it be that the women hating thing comes from the likes of people such as yourself that go, men can be women? Gee, I don't know. Have you ever thought of that? Vote for a woman, not because she's a woman, but because she's the best at the job. Yeah. Seems good enough, right? Good enough reason. The women of Generation X, my generation, that answers a lot of questions I have. But anyway, of which Harris is arguably a part of, lived in the golden window of womanhood where sex could be casual and fun and largely unattained by the cruelties encouraged by internet porn, where the feminists promise encourage education and careers and financial self-sufficiency as liberation. Daughters of the Cold War who never experienced or expected to live past 30, we are now menopausal and menopausal. We are now perimenopausal and menopausal with an aggressive screw you, you're not the boss of me, punk energy that is entirely unprecedented. And we've joined the global leadership generation. Oh boy. And we're changing things. Certainly you're changing things in not a good way. You ask me, in Australia, Generation X, women's leadership is fighting medical misogyny, gaining fair pay in feminized industries, making reproductive rights sacrosanct, and legislating against gendered violence. Again, I will say, what is a woman? Once you can get that right, then you can actually say gendered violence. But until such time, don't say it. The female generation who moshed were always in for it a good time, not a long time, but we know tangible material changes that we make make it hard to really undo. So do the far right. So they try to legislate women's containment and terrify the younger women. The Cliffs, the daughters of Vance voters, about the price of stepping out of line, humiliation, undesirability. And what's your side if you step out of line? We're going to hate you forever. We're going to isolate you. We're going to do 10 times things worse if you're ostracized. And we're going to beat you up online. That's what you guys do if anyone on your side steps out of line and doesn't agree with you. Hey, that's all I've seen. There's an alternative. It's the punk enthusiasm to revel in everything that upsets these jerks. Yeah, sure, we're jerks. Are we? Be proud of our education, love our careers, determine the shape of our own families. The Swifties get it. Oh, boy. Ditch the boys and party on with other girls. Yeah, that's a great message to send to the youth. Yeah, forget the boys, party hard. That's going to get you real far, isn't it? Banding together organizationally, electronically, and socially. Vote for a woman not because she's a woman, but because she's the best at her job or at the job. Let them cry about it. Keep boxing. No thanks. Stop boxing. Stop beating up women. And if actual real women cry, that should concern a lot of people. There's a lesson that Generation X learned. I wonder what lesson that is. from one of our seminal texts, the nuclear anxiety movie War Games, that instructs us how to fight the rights gender war. Whether you're a childless cat lady, a harassed champion boxer, you're not a champion boxer. That's not Aman Khalif. But anyway, or a suffering stay-at-home. Why would you say suffering? Good grief, woman. The only winning move is not to play. So that was from the likes of Van Badham. What a bad article, Van. But hey, that was difficult to actually slog through. I'm glad that you guys made it to the end, because wow, man, that was something. That was truly something indeed. But thank you all so much for getting to this point. You guys take care. You be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.